My name is Kevin Rutherford. I'm here to talk about life through my life. Welcome to the Accelerate Through Life podcast. Let's go. Hey guys, welcome to the first podcast of 2024. I am so excited for this. I absolutely love this time of year. It's a new year. There's new opportunities. Everything about it to me is just exciting. And if you're an entrepreneur, you likely wrote off as much as you could the year before. And so now here you are broke again in your eyes, and it's time to go out and hustle, right? So, but for many of us, it just means that it's time to look at our lives as if we were watching film of a sport that we play and figure out areas that we can improve. Many people are going to go on diets. Many people are going to join gyms. But the truth is, we all have these little things that we're going to work on to make 2024 better than 2023 was. Now, here's the exciting part, okay? It's up to you. Yeah, that's right. It's not up to anybody else. It's not about how the election goes. It's not about anything else other than, are you going to make it a better year than 2023 was? It's up to you. The ball is in your court, but I've got faith in you because you are listening to podcasts like this to help advance your life, to help accelerate through life. So before we get started in this, today we're going to talk about how to change the way you think about you. Okay, the truth is you are where you are in life today because of the way you think. And so I want to talk to you a little bit about an activity we do in Bold through Keller Williams called Business Objective Life by Design. It's one of my favorite activities. And what it is they rip out a piece of paper in the book, and it's about affirmations. They tape it on your back. You've got your name. So it would say Kevin, and then you tape it on your back, and you go around the room writing on each other's backs. And you're writing affirmations. Right? And so many of the times mine said things as confident, leader, et cetera, right? Obviously, people are writing positive things about us. And I'm going to be honest with you. I don't have the paper in front of me right this second. I don't remember that they told us it had to be positive. But you know what? When it came down to the time to do the activity, not once did you think about writing something negative about anybody. So something I want you to think about. But I thought it was awesome because the room, we did this activity for, let's say, 5 minutes, was so energetic during this 5 minutes. And honestly, it continued on throughout the end of the day, right? Because people were reading these positive things about themselves. And so the truth is, many of us struggle with self-doubt. Many of us, we all struggle with self-doubt. We all wonder if we have the imposter syndrome. We all wonder, man, are things kind of going too good? Like, what's going to happen next, right? These are all normal thoughts. And yet, successful people find a way to identify these thoughts and then overcome them. So we're going to talk a little bit about that today, and just kind of the importance of having routines. Because that is something that I certainly learned in 2023. An example that I want to share with you guys is that it was really hard to stay in routines. And you can have excuses or results. I'm a huge disciplined person. And in 2023, I had a lot of both, right? I had excuses and I had results. And yet I like to think that they were real life excuses. Having a baby, I don't care what you read, what videos you watch, there's nothing you can do to prepare for that. Quick plug. Thank you guys so much for interacting with this podcast. On the last one, episode about struggling to be a dad, you guys were calling me up saying, it's not just you and this, that, the other. I mean, you guys were very interactive in that. So thank you for doing that. And any topic that I cover on this podcast, I want to encourage you to pick up the phone and give me a call. But back to it. I had a baby that threw me out of my routine. And then me and my wife, I had a baby. Don't you like that? Like I did anything. We had a baby. Me and my beautiful bride had a baby. So that threw us out of our routine. And then next, we bought our second property. Keep in mind, we just bought our first ever home 2.5 years prior to buying the second one. It was actually like 2 years and 2 months. We bought our second property, and we had 60 days to do the updates that we wanted to do to it. During this time period, I didn't really have a great routine. Honestly, I'd get up, go to the gym, go to work. I'd get off work. I would go over to our future house. I would spend all afternoon and evening working there. I would get home. At this time, Dusty's about 2-3 months old. Becca would be like, hey, glad you've enjoyed being gone all day, because, I'd like to shower, do whatever she needed to do. Usually lasted about an hour or two. So let's say it didn't matter if I got home at 9 p.m., 11 p.m., or midnight from working. I was going to be responsible for the baby for the next couple of hours. And at that early age, we were not sleeping very much. I say that. He's still not sleeping very much, but he's sleeping better than he was at that age. So, I say all that to tell you that life's going to happen. Life's absolutely going to happen. And yet, okay, now it's 2024. How can we make sure that 2024 is going to be a better year than 2023 was? The truth is, if you show me your habits, I can show you your future. They are directly tied to each other. Okay, so I'm going to share a little bit about the things that I do for my morning routine that have helped me develop true self-confidence. Not the arrogant guy that I was when I was a young teenager into my early 20s. I'm talking about true self. I make promises to myself and I keep them. And that builds confidence in myself that I do what I say I'm going to do. And I'm telling you, just that alone, that concept alone takes away so much anxiety. So as I go through my morning routine here, because I'm a big believer that in the miracle morning, right? I want to have a peak performance morning to make sure that the rest of my day goes according to plan. Because I think all of you can testify to this. We've all done it. We wake up late, right? And we've got to rush out the door. Our entire day feels rushed from that point on. Like you might have been 3 minutes late to a meeting, and then you had a meeting at 4 p.m. and you still felt like you were rushed because you started your day rushed, right? So that shows you the importance of starting a good, healthy morning routine. So the first thing that I do is actually, and it starts the night before, because I set out all my clothes, right? So I'm going to the gym, and when I get back from the gym, I need to have clothes to take a shower and change into. So the reason I have to do all of that is because I've got a sleeping baby at home. And if I wake that baby up at 5:30 in the morning, my wife is not going to be happy with me. So make sure that you prepare for your morning the night before. And then from there, the first thing I do is I go to the gym. After I get my heart rate going, you can tell, listen, I've been working out for like 2 years and I don't look any different. And yet, my goal is not to be the Rock. I just want to go in there and get my blood flowing. I want to go in there and I want to stretch, right? I want to do exercises that are going to help me be a better dad. They're going to help me be a better race car driver. These are the things that are important to me. So after I get done working out, I come back and I start journaling. I start writing down 5 affirmations. Okay, affirmations are I am statements, right? And so I start an example. I am a child of God, advancing God's kingdom every day. I am a great husband and father. I am a great brother, son, family member, and friend. I am a great business owner. I am a great race car driver. These are just examples, right? Yours are going to be whatever you want to be in life, because what you're doing here is you're tying things together in your brain. Because as you write these things down, maybe you aren't a business owner yet, but maybe you desire to be. Start writing down you are, and then watch the way that it all comes to fruition in life. The next thing I do is I write down 5 I am grateful statements, things that I'm grateful for. Here's the deal. I'm kind of lenient on the affirmations. If you write 3 affirmations down, that's great, right? I don't think it's got to be 5. That's just what I do. Now, on the being grateful, on the thankful statements, I'm pretty harsh on the 5, because here's the truth. No matter which one of you are listening to this podcast, call me and I will tell you 5 things you're grateful for, okay? Because I'm thankful that I woke up today, right? There's one right there, because there's a lot of people that had a full plate scheduled today. They had a lot of things on their agenda that they planned on getting done, and they didn't wake up today. They didn't have the opportunity. So just remember, you can't be grateful and stressed at the same time. Next After I get done I've wrote down 5 I am statements. I've wrote down 5 things I'm thankful for. I'm going to write down 1 to 3 goals. 1 to 3 goals, things that I'm working on. These are big goals, right? These aren't like, here's what I'm going to get done today. That was already planned out the day before. These are big goals that I'm working towards. And so in order for me to write down these 1 to 3 goals, I stop and I start meditating on where I want my life to be in 5 years. Yet again, I'm writing that picture. I'm painting that picture. And so I think about, who do I want to be in it? Who do I want to be in my life in 5 years? What do I want my life to look like? What do I want my business, my racing career? What do I want to look like as a dad, as a husband? These are all things that I start thinking about as I manifest and start writing down my 1 to 3 goals. Now, the biggest things with goals is these are dreams with work boots on. Right? We're gonna put numbers in place to make sure that we're hitting deadlines and we're not just writing things down to write them down. So for instance, if you want to lose 10 pounds, write down, I am going to lose 10 pounds in the next 60 days. If you want to read 2 books, write down, I am going to read 2 books in the next 3 months. Whatever it looks like, make sure that you give yourself a deadline. That way you can go back and revisit it and prioritize. And I'll tell you the other thing is that I write down these goals pretty consistently. Like, they don't change very often, right? I've got a pretty clear picture of where I want my life to be in 5 years, and I think it's important that you do too. What doing all this is doing for you is providing you with an abundance mindset for you to expect good things to happen for you, right? That things are happening for you and not to you. Things are happening for you, not to you. And the last thing is this: if it won't matter in 5 years, don't stress about it for more than 5 minutes. If it won't matter in 5 years, don't stress about it for more than 5 minutes. The other big things that I do to help with my confidence, to help with my testosterone levels, like everything, all of these things tied together are: stay off your phone the first 30 minutes you wake up. And I say phone, this goes for all screens, right? Laptops, TVs, etc. Stay off of them for the first 30 minutes that you wake up and the last 30 minutes before you go to sleep. And also what works for me is I set an alarm that I actually have to get up and go turn off. And so here's the other big thing about this is maybe you're going to start waking up at 6:30 instead of 7:30. Maybe if you're one of those people that you're just able to go straight from 7:30 to 6:30, great. And yet, if you fail, I don't want you to just throw in the towel and give up. I want you to do it in 15-minute increments. So, boom, I didn't wake up at 7:30 today, but tomorrow I'm going to start at 7:15. Do that for a week. And then the next week you'll do 15 more minutes, right? 7 a.m. and so forth. You get the picture. So, write down goals in bite-sized chunks and start to implement them a little bit at a time. Guys, I'm telling you, 2024 is setting up to be an incredible year. I truly believe this with my whole heart. I think it's going to be a prosperous year for the majority of us listening to this. I believe that we're in control of our own destiny. And yet, I know good things are coming. So keep putting in the work. Keep putting in the grind. I'm so proud of each and every one of you. Thank you for listening to this podcast. Continue to strive to be the best possible version of yourself that you can do. Thank you for holding me accountable in all aspects of life as well. I love you guys, and I hope you guys have a great week.
Thanks for tuning in to today's episode of the Accelerate Through Life podcast. Please rate and review the show wherever you get your podcast. See you next time.